Seeing none, the meeting is, he turned me up, didn't he? Turn me up, turn me on. Okay, here we go. I'm going to adjourn that meeting. Commissioners, I'd like to call to order our May the 9th meeting. And we have the invocation by District 4. Commissioner Knight, would you like to announce that? And if Mr. Markert would lead us in the pledge after that, we'll be good to go.
I'm happy to introduce Pastor Zach Reno from Morris, Alabama, Enon Baptist Church. He is doing a great job up there. The church is growing. And I find it interesting, the word Enon means springs of water. I did not know that. That's a good little thing to know. Pastor Zach.
Let us pray. Father, we thank you so much for today. Lord, your word says this is the day that the Lord has made, and let us rejoice and be glad in it, Father. God, I thank you that you know every person in this room. God, you know their names, you know the situations in their homes and in their families, and God, what they carried into this room this morning. And so, Lord, before I pray for the meeting, God, I just pray for every soul in this room. God, I pray, Father, for those who are dealing with heartaches, God, with the struggles and the brokenness, God, of a sin-cursed world. And Lord, I thank you for the great hope that in Jesus, one day, God, you're going to make all things new. And Father, you'll wipe away every tear from every eye. But God, while we're here, God, I thank you that, Lord, through Jesus, God, we can have hope and we can have help. And so, Lord, I pray that right now for every soul in this room, God, those who know you, and Lord, maybe even those who don't, God, that today, that, Lord, that they would turn towards you, and that, God, we would cast our cares upon you. Your word says that your burden is easy and your yoke is light. And Father, I thank you for Jefferson County. Lord, I thank you that I was born in this county and went to school in this county. That, God, there's memories all over this county that, Father, that are sacred to me in sacred places, Lord, where you met me. And so, Lord, I pray in the name of Jesus, Lord, would you bless Jefferson County? God, I pray, Lord, that you would bind the enemy from them. And God, I ask, oh Lord, for this commission today. Lord, as they do take this responsibility, and God, they make decisions, Lord, at the end of the day, I ask, God, that they would be sensitive to your will, and that, God, that they would hear from you. Lord, at the end of the day, I pray you'd remind them of the sober responsibility, the same way that one day I will give an account to you for my time at Enon Baptist Church, is that, God, one day they will give an account to you. And so, Father, I pray truly, would you bless them in that? God, would you give them your wisdom and your favor, Lord, to do things in such a way that honors you, that celebrates what is true, and, God, what is just. And we ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
One day you got to give account.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor. Cal, thank you. Commissioners, you have before you the minutes of the April 25th meeting. Is there any additions, corrections, or revisions, or can we accept a motion for them to stand as read?
Move we approve the commission minutes of April 25th, 2024, and dispense of the reading.
Yeah.
A motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Now we have three presentations. One is a milestone presentation from WVTM. It's rare that something around here has lasted longer than Commissioner Boland and myself, but I think that this particular entity had. And would WVTM, if you'll come to the podium down there, I will try to read this without my glasses.
You need mine?
I may. I may get this. I asked Ellen, I said, Ellen, would you like to read that? Oh, no.
pretty small.
I see it's
It's pages, okay?
I see
Let's
it's
see
big
what we
print.
got. You know, rarely we get an opportunity to honor an iconic news station in Jefferson County. You know, when I grew up, there were 3, and then there became 4 when 42 came on, and we had to get a special box to keep that get that other one in. It was UHF, so you had to tune your antenna separately. So, from going back to the days when you would go to someone's house because they had a TV, you could always depend on WAPI to deliver factual, timely news and some of the greatest shows in the world, and still there. So I'm going to go through some whereases here. Ladies, I may not read them all because she added 2 pages to them, but we'll do what we can do. Whereas in 1949, radio station owner, the Voice of Alabama, broke new ground by signing on with WAFM-TV, the original station that would become WVTM-TV, the longest continuously operating station in Alabama. Whereas alongside radio stations WAPI-AM, WAFM-FM, the original station would begin its long history of operation atop Red Mountain in Birmingham, whereas these early years program was limited and only ran during the day and allowed local merchants to demonstrate television set receivers to a curious public. You know, I think I just said that. I was one of those curious public. Whereas in the 1960s, one of the most significant decades of change in American history, WVTM, known as WAPI TV at the time, recorded one of the most important and tragic events in civil rights movement. September the 15th, 1963, station cameras and film revealed the nation the horror of the bombing inside the 16th Street Baptist Church. These famous moving pictures helped create momentum for change in the battle for civil rights. Throughout the decade, those television images of fire hoses being used to suppress peaceful marchers, beatings of freedom riders, and police dogs savagely attacking the innocent opened the eyes of the nation, the shame of racism, segregation, and discrimination. Whereas in 1967, the station known as WAPI-TV completed another first, already broadcasting network programs in color. Everybody remember your first color TV. WAPI was able to acquire the camera projection and slide equipment to complete the color chain for making WAPI, which became WVTM, the first to have the ability to broadcast the entire day in color. Wow. Whereas in 1980, the Times Mirror Company brought the station and changed the call letters to WVTM, so that was in 1980. Seems like yesterday. Whereas in 1990s, in a technology-driven industry, WVTM showed commitment to the public safety with the first professional-grade use of Doppler radar. The new equipment gave a clear picture of dangerous storms. Since the first step, WVTM has stayed ahead of the modern weather technology, first with full-power Doppler, which is now in 5920, and in 24, and now with live Doppler radar giving viewers a safety advantage, 7 minutes. Right? 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Okay.
7 would be better. We'll work on that.
Well, that give you a challenge to work to. Whereas on October 17, 2007, we saw the major step in television broadcasting as WVTM became the first station in Alabama to broadcast local news in high definition. The new format and the new perspective allowed WVTM news team to go completely digital, marking a stark improvement over older analog signals. Whereas in May 16, 2024, WVTM will be the 75 years on the air, the longest continuously broadcasting station in Alabama. Now, therefore, Here we go. All of that was leading up to this. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Jefferson County Commission that WVTM is hereby recognized for its 75th year on the air, exercising a steadfast commitment to the community to keep residents safe, informed, and entertained. Signed by the Jefferson County Commission on this 9th day of May, 2024. Congratulations, WAPI, WVTM, WAFM TV, WVTM 13 for being a stalwart member of our community. Here's the formal resolution, and what we'll do, I'm going to present it right here, and then I'm going to come up here and ask the commissioners and to get your picture.
Wait a minute.
Yes, sir.
Let's hear from our guests.
Oh, wonderful.
You know, they're TV people. You know they got something to say.
You know, I worked real hard to try.
I think you did pretty good. Thank you so much. We're honored to be here.
10 o'clock news tonight.
We need it. We're looking for an anchor. What are you doing? You got time?
Sure.
Okay.
Look at this.
All right, here we go.
Tell us your name.
I'm Susanna Schuler. I'm the general manager of WVTM. It's been my honor to be that since 2019. Thank you for this recognition, and you did well reading all that, and I appreciate that you know we have an advantage on the radar. So it is our commitment. We take it seriously. There is a tremendous responsibility to not only be the first television station to broadcast in the state, but to be continuously broadcasting and being in your homes and on your phones and helping local businesses for the amount of time that we have done that. We take it seriously. We know that we are here to inform. We're here for shining light on what's working and not working. We will continue to do that. It's our commitment, and we hope that you will continue to give us your trust over the next 75 years and beyond. So thank you for this recognition.
The other young lady.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's Keisha Ellison. I'm so sorry. Excuse me.
I'm Keisha Ellison. I am the Programming and Community Affairs Director, and I've only been there almost 5 years, but it is a overwhelming privilege to be honest, to be a black person and to be a woman to work for a station and also to work in an industry where we weren't accepted not too long ago, and to be in this position and to be in the community and to be number one in all things, hopefully ratings too. It's definitely an honor, and I thank you all for presenting this to us.
Thank you.
Yes, and
Mr. President?
Yes.
Okay.
You know she's going to
Absolutely. Well, it's good to see you, Ms. Schuler.
Thank you. You as well.
Especially one who is a publicist outside of this job. Obviously, I appreciate media and when you all answer the phone. But I want to tell you thank you not only for the 75 years that you all have been in the broadcasting business. I want to thank you personally for some things that you all did to cover the county's impact as it relates to COVID. You all did a tremendous job to make sure that the funds that we appropriated, that the general public knew about it. That's that community engagement piece you're talking about. And I just want to thank you. Fred was doing a lot of the coverage at the time, for how much I appreciate the openness and making sure that there's a fair and balanced approach in terms of the way that we present news. That means a lot to a person like me who has to pitch news, to make sure that we are there. I want to say to you, young lady, that you're right. There are not that many black and people, we just had this little talk about African American because all Africans are not black. And so I want to thank you for acknowledging the fact that you know that you've risen to the top in such a way that you'll reach back and that you will gather others because of the fact you know that it is a predominant business that doesn't necessarily reflect all of us. That being said, continue to do good news. A lot of times, all we hear, we know on the teleprompter, that's all you're going to see is the same old thing because we're giving people really what they want, which unfortunately is negative news. But the positive part and the community engagement piece is the humanitarian part that I hope that you'll continue to look and endeavor to make that a part of a reality of our community. We got some good things going on. We just need to spotlight it a lot more. So congratulations on this opportunity. Thank you, Ms. Schuler, for being open to all people, all races, all things, and presenting it in such a way that we all can be proud. So again, congratulations on behalf of the Jefferson County Commission. We really appreciate WVTM.
Thank you so much.
I just wanted to thank them also, especially the young lady. She comes out and volunteers so many. She probably don't tell y'all.
Oh, we know.
All
Yes,
about
ma'am.
breast cancer.
She doesn't tell us,
events.
but we do know.
Yes, and she comes out and give my young ladies classes for the 5 years that she have been there. She have taught them how to pitch their businesses with their small business program that they have. And she have blended in with those young girls. They look up to her so much. And just to be around their same age, I just appreciate everything that you do in our community.
Thank you.
Helen, would you please come up to this, and county manager, we're going to stand on that desk, and if y'all come in and be down here this evening, I'll give you a good
So we're going up there?
No, you're going to stay
We're
right
here.
Hey, yeah.
Where do you want us? Right from here. Put us where you want us.
There we go.
Do I need to move?
Y'all scoot in. Commissioner, scoot in. Hey.
Yep, looking great. We got a couple of shots. We got a couple of shots going here. Going to do one with this camera and the other with the phone. Ready? In 3, 2, 1. One more. 3, 2, 1. All right, now with the phone. 3, 2, 1. One more. Got it. Thank you.
Thank you all here for your patience.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your, and it is public service. You do what we do. That's fine. We need to keep him along. Thank you very much. And y'all tune in. I'll be on the 10 o'clock news Sunday night. Yeah. Well, I figured that'd be the only opening that you'd have.
Well, that's probably the show called The Lawyers, where they're talking about him. Welcome.
Yeah. A different channel.
I didn't know which was which.
Oh, we have 2 presentations for District 5. Commissioner Boland.
Thank you, Mr. Commission President. And I'd like to ask if I could, I'd take these in reverse order.
Yes, sir.
One of them involves a county employee, and another one that's here. They need to get back to work. Stay here. So I'd like to first take up the proclamation concerning Teresa Smith. Come up. We also have Mr. Suri Cara. And how are you doing, young lady?
Good. How are you?
How long have you been here?
30 years.
Wow.
My first one yet. We have this proclamation because we're so proud of you, and I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to turn the program over to a man that knows you more intimately than me. This is a certificate of distinguished retirement, so we really hate to lose you. But I got a feeling that somebody's going to get a good employee, whether it's in the IT department or just helping out those in our community, or both.
Yes.
And you'll be great at either one. That greetings, know all men by these present, in grateful recognition of unwavering commitment to excellence. We, the Jefferson County Commission, are indebted to and honor Teresa Smith in appreciation of 30 years of loyal and dedicated performance of duties in the Information Technology Services Department. I don't even know what y'all want to do, what you do, how you do it. I'm just glad we got you to do it for us. Thank you so much. And we're presenting this to you today. I'm going to let you have it. We're going to take your picture in a minute. But I'm also going to let Mr. Carroll say a couple of words for you beforehand.
Thank you, Commissioner Bowen, and good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Thank you for giving us this opportunity this morning to recognize the proclamation for Theresa Smith. She worked in our ITS department for 30 years, and I still remember when first she started in this department in 1994, I guess, right? She started as a computer operator working in our mainframe systems. But it's a very inspiring story that she wanted to pursue, and she pursued bachelor's in computer science from Alabama A&M. And today, after 30 years, she's retiring as a business systems analyst in our Power BI, in our business intelligence department. And that just shows and proves in terms of how committed she is in terms of bettering herself and providing the best service that she can for the ITS department and for the entire Jefferson County Commission. So we truly appreciate, on behalf of ITS department, thank you, Teresa. Thank you very much for everything that you have done for us. And
first of all, I would like to thank God for blessing me to work here at Jefferson County these 30 years, for the wonderful people that I've met along this path, and for the users that I've been able to serve. I really enjoyed it. I would like to thank Sri, Antonio, Kimmy back there. Like I said, I've met some wonderful people along this path, and I really enjoyed working here at Jefferson County. And like I said, I just thank God for this opportunity. I'm really blessed to be retiring, and whatever God has for me, I'm looking forward to it. And thanks the commissioner and all that's responsible for giving me this recognition. Thanks again.
Thank you. Let's do the same thing. Any commissioner want to say?
Mr. President.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me say this. So you did work in the IT department. That's right. And so therefore you had to deal with data and some other things, right? I want to take this opportunity to say this. I want to say, was this over 2 years ago, Sri, that when you brought to our attention about protecting the county's data? You all, with your help, ma'am, have really protected us. I have been, that department's ear should have been really hot over the past couple of weeks, because I've been talking about the fact that the forward thinking of making sure that we protected our data, even though at the time it was very costly, but the assignment was understood, and we are made better because of it, because these attacks are real. And so knowing that we have certain scenarios going on, it makes a difference when you recognize that we did our part to protect the interests of all parties involved. And I want to thank you for being a part of that. 30 years is a long time to be anywhere. I've been married 31, this year be 33 years, right? So anything over 30 is a long time. The only thing I will tell you,
For your husband, it's probably been
well, and for his wife, yeah. And so with that having said, I want you, just like I tell all other people, live. You understand? And yes, same husband, Jimmy. Politics teach you to have 4 ears, not just 2. So, yeah, same husband. Matter of fact, I've been married since I was 20 years old for the public's consumption. And I am now 53, and I will be married 33 come June 13th. So, thank you. And that being said, congratulations.
Ms. Smith, you've been here 30 years. I've been here 14. And I know the trials and tribulations that you have been through, even in that department. And you have kept your sights on what you're supposed to do, and you've done it. And I guess my last question is, what's in store for Ms. Smith now?
I'm a risk first, and then wherever the Lord leads me, that's what I'm looking forward to, whether it's volunteering or making another job. But I'm going to move forward.
Okay. Well, congratulations.
You can always volunteer in my girls' program.
Ms. Smith, you've seen the worst of times and you've seen the best of times. And we appreciate your contribution to making the times we are now one of the best. And we thank you and appreciate your commitment to Jefferson County and to the SRI and IT department. We certainly do appreciate you. And if you would come up, and any staff members would like to come up before here, and we can go ahead and get a picture.
I don't know. Can you imagine the person has to take the place of this lady, as articulate and as smart as she is, and sweet?
That would be you too, Cal. I like that dress. Come on, let's get up. Yeah, get up there by me. Yeah, y'all. Go here. Wait a second. Turn sideways. What do you do?
Turn inward.
Turn in sideways. Hold your shoulders back, and let's have a big smile on our face.
Get it done.
3, 2, 1. All right, one more. Ready? 3, 2. Well. One more.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, yes, sir.
Appreciate it. All you do, too.
Mr. Bolin, you still have the floor.
Thank you, sir. The next resolution and proclamation that I have today is just as special as the one we just had, except it goes in a different direction. Instead of an individual, it's an entity. And of course, that includes the individuals that are employed and work. They don't really work. They go help people there every day. When I, early on, I think was a probate judge, had the privilege of succeeding another judge who was on the board of directors of an entity called Glenwood, with which I was unfamiliar. And Judge Storm retired from the board, and I was fortunate enough to get to take her place. One of the first things that they did was take me around to see some of the classes that were going on and the things that they did. And I'm going to tell you, I was just taken by it. And it's been many decades since then, and I still am. And I hold this up today because this entity, Glenwood, is celebrating its 50th anniversary coming up soon. They've got, coming up next week, you got a big celebration, an anniversary event, if you care to go. But what struck me was going around and seeing the individual children that they were taking care of. Now, they take care of adults and others too, but the first entrance I had was children, and it was this is God's children. And why God does this to make these children a little different, I don't know. It's above my pay grade, but this young man I thought it was his first day, but he'd actually been there about 6 months. But he either didn't understand, didn't like, or was not going to cooperate with this very sweet lady that was talking to him, showing him these things. And I thought, goodness, this lady's got the patience of Job. And I thought he was a brand new student. And then I found out he'd actually been there 6 months. And she still had not been able to break through to him to let him understand, we love you, we want to help you every way that we can. But she said, trust me, we'll get there. And before I could even get out in the hall, it's not all good times, medium times. There was just about a fight that was going to go on down the hall. I never saw him, but it sounded like a teenager. And he'd gotten very upset. Something it upset him in his mind. And I thought, goodness gracious, I don't know who provides security there, but, most of the ones I saw were ladies. I don't mean to be sexist, but I thought, somebody, I hope they got somebody in there to protect them, and they touched my heart, and it's never changed. I enjoyed my time on the board, and this is personal, but even had the opportunity this past weekend to look at some county work on roads, going out Sickert Holler Road. I made the county manager and the head of roads and transportation, made them take the wrong turn to go up there just to show them what a beautiful campus they got. That they tell me the land came from one or two of the originators 50 years ago. Did that originator have a family member in need of services? But I mean, they are the people that work there, including the three that are here. But I especially say this to the ones that interact with the children. They are angels on this earth. God put them here for a reason, and they carry it out faithfully every day. But before I turn the floor over to them, I'm just going to tell you a couple of talking points. It is a nonprofit agency dedicated to serving children, adolescents, and adults with autism and other behavioral needs, and they've been doing it since 1974. They provide 30 different comprehensive services for children as young as 18 months up to adults in their senior years, along with their families and their caregivers. They started with 18 students in donated space 50 years ago. It's grown into a diverse team of more than 400 dedicated employees, including clinicians, medical and educational teams, direct care staff, the ones I was talking about, administration, and support personnel. It helps provide for over 8,000 families each year with services that include diagnosis, full-time care, outpatient services, in-home services, educational services, trainings, and I'm sure many more things too. They have 3 campuses in Birmingham. The one that I mentioned off Sickert Holler Road is a 363-acre main campus. It's a beautiful place and a beautiful setting for these precious citizens, especially the children. They also have an outpatient service in Avondale, Commissioner Tyson's familiar with, and the Malley, Ireland Children's Center for ABA Therapy. And I'm just going to give them a plug. We're not there in the year, but every year they have a pecan sale, come Christmas. When I was on the court.
Pecan sale.
Pecans, it's a little nut. As opposed to a bigger nut, maybe. No, present company excluded, Commissioner. But they do raise a good bit of money for that. And I can assure you there are 8 other members of a certain court in Montgomery that got a Christmas present of pecans every year from them. But they have a warehouse out there, and it's open from November through December. And they sell them individually, sell them so that you can give gifts to others to help raise money for the organization. I want to read you their mission statement because it goes back to their heart and their service. Their mission statement says, quote, Glenwood seeks to become the premier provider of autism and behavioral health services in Alabama through professional collaboration, superior programming, and evidence-based services for children and adults. Delivering care to meet each individual's needs, we will be the treatment program of choice through access, integration, outcomes, and research. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to the 3 attendees here today. We have, in order, the CEO, Ken Oliver, the Chief of Staff, Christy Castleberry, and the Chief Development Officer, Scarlett Thompson. And I'd ask them to come up in one or all, but give a statement to our commission.
I'll go first, and I'll probably I can't begin to express our appreciation for this recognition for Glenwood. We, as the commissioner said, we serve over 8,000 families every year, and many people affected by those families. That's just an individual contact. So we probably serve in the tens of thousands of people that are affected by our services every year. We have about 160 people, children, adolescents, and adults who live with us in houses and programs that we provide. We provide 24 hours a day service, 365 days a year for those people. And we are honored to be able to do that. The founders 50 years ago started with those 18 people in a day school in donated space. And I said to someone earlier today, they really didn't know what they had started. So we are really appreciative of the recognition and all the support that we get. And please be looking for those pecan sales in November and December, because that means a lot to us. So, Christine.
I'd like to thank the Jefferson County Commission for recognizing us for 50 years of service. It is an honor to be able to serve the families in this community and across the state of Alabama. I'd like to speak on behalf of the staff. As Chief of Staff, I'd like to say the people that work for us are just fabulous. They're incredible direct support professionals. They're certified behavioral analysts, they're psychologists, they're speech and OT professionals. The list goes on, and each person that we serve are touched by these professional people, that we have an opportunity to change lives. And that's exactly what we do, and we're very proud of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anything from any of the commissioners?
Well, we just appreciate the service that you've given. It's a blessing, is what it is. And we certainly appreciate that on behalf of the entire Jefferson County Commission. And I'm sure other commissioners would like to say, but God bless you and thank you.
One more round of applause for these.
I just want to say this, and I'm very involved with Independence Place, which is a different entity. It's not strictly autism, but in the work they do out there is phenomenal. And for you, the work is trying, to say the least. It has to be. And it's so sad when you see someone like the parents. Gosh, they need the support too, because you never know when something's going to trigger, and it embarrasses them sometimes, and sometimes they just kind of take it and just keep moving on. But it's great work that you do, and so thank you very much, and thank you, Commissioner Bowling, for bringing this to the commission today. Thank you all.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Commissioner Boland, before you take the picture, Commissioner. Yes, sir. I do want to say thank you also. Our commission area, we cover North Avondale. And I want to tell you that your work is far-reaching. And anytime you can change the trajectory of a family's life, except you've had to work with children and families that have the issues that your organization supports, I just think we don't have no idea. And that's why I'm very aware that the stroke of a pen can change a person's life forever. It's called policies. Some call them laws, And I just want you to know to be encouraged because of the fact sometimes it can be an unappreciated task because what you do is beyond what you're paid to do, which is a big difference. So I want to thank you for the deposit that you continue to do for all of us in order to make this world a much better place. So thank you, Commissioner Boland, for bringing them before us. God bless you and continue up the good work. Be of good courage. One thing about it, God keeps good records. Thank you.
Thank you. Y'all come up and get a quick picture. Thank you.
Hang on.
All right, ready? Count down. 3, 2, 1.
Thank you. Thank you very much. God bless you. Yes, ma'am. Pleasure. God bless you. All right, next on the agenda, we have public hearings. Commissioners, we're about to enter into a 772 public hearing, which is concerning a proposed project agreement with C Model Data Incorporation. Jeff, would you come up and speak what C Model does very quickly? Or Commissioner Boland, would you rather do that?
No, you go right here, please.
Yeah, just if you do that, and then we're going to open a public hearing and gavel it closed pretty quickly.
All right. Greetings, Commissioners. C Model is a company that is looking to locate to Birmingham out of San Francisco. They're an IT, woman-owned IT company that utilizes artificial intelligence to help businesses analyze data and make better informed business decisions, and it also helps predict the outcomes of those decisions. They're looking at locating in Birmingham and are looking to employ about 80 new employees with that operation.
That'd be great. This time I'd like to open a public hearing for the consideration of a resolution concerning the proposed authorization, execution, and delivery on behalf of the county, a project agreement with C Model Data Incorporated. Is there anyone in the audience who'd like to speak in favor of or in opposition to this particular development agreement? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Chair will entertain a motion.
Move the item.
Motion's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye. Commissioner, Mr. President, let me say this. It's a great day in Jefferson County. I know that it has been said that the county doesn't want to help the city in terms of economic development, but today proves that that's different. That's not the case. And AI, if we're not careful, is going to get some of us out of some jobs. But nevertheless, I look forward to the 80 jobs that you all will be providing here in our county. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I'd like to make one final comment.
Yes, sir.
I want to congratulate the economic development portion of county manager's office, and I especially like the relocation of this company because it's coming from California to Alabama and Birmingham. Other states wanted it, maybe offered more money, but they came all the way across the country to relocate here. So, Jeff, kudos to you. Y'all did a great job, and I'm happy for Jefferson County in this city. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on our agenda is a public hearing on a zoning issue, Z24-0007. Lewis Pallet and Bobby Lewis. Michael Morrison.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is a request to go from R6 and I3 to C1 for a proposed gas station / convenience store. This is just off of Shannon-Winona Road, near the intersection of Shannon-Winona Road and Lakeshore Drive. This is across Shannon-Winona Road from the Publix development. It's just south of an automobile repair facility, excuse me, and then it's sort of catty-cornered to a self-storage facility that was rezoned just back in, I think, 2018. The site plan is shown above, and the applicant did add a note to the site plan that downward-facing lighting will be installed, landscaping plans will be developed by match the aesthetics of the area, and they give a timetable for construction, hopefully to commence in July of 2024 and in July of 2025, again, pending rezoning approval. Planning and Zoning Commission did recommend approval of this particular request with conditions that Valley Drive, which is the drive that it will actually access off of, be improved to the specifications of the Departments of Roads and Transportation. Any all outdoor lighting should be directed downward and away from residential property. They limited the hours of operations from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. Again, that was in response to some of the area residents who came to P&Z that had some concerns about the hours of operation and other things associated with the business. And lastly, they did have a condition that only one entry shall be allowed, and it shall be located at the southern end of the property near the intersection of Valley Drive and Shannon Winona Road. Again, that was a concession that P&Z put on the table to address the residents across the street. Since the P&Z hearing, the applicant has made a request to remove that particular condition just so that the interior traffic flow, particularly for truck traffic, delivery traffic, be accommodated by that northern entrance. So again, I will have him plead that case for you guys. Again, this does comply with the policies of the land use plan for the area, which calls this area for general transition, as it is sandwiched between the commercial development on the opposite side of the road, commercial and industrial development within this unincorporated pocket, and then the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, which is just to the west. I'm sorry, excuse me, to the east. Again, if you have any questions, I'll be glad to entertain. I believe the applicant's here if you have any questions for him.
Commissioner Tyson, that's your district.
Yeah, move the item.
All right, now they did make some changes.
Yeah, yes, the applicant did request that removal of that particular, that last condition regarding the access.
Okay, so you want to move it with the removal of the covenant?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm doing that now. What we're going to do, we're opening a public hearing in just a second, but I want to make sure that we were okay with that. Okay, so what we're considering in the public hearing is as stated here, with the removal of which condition that you have here?
The fourth one listed.
The fourth one, only the entrance shall be allowed, and it shall be located in the southern end of the property at the intersection of Valley Drive and Winona Drive. All right, so this one would be removed with consideration of the commission.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'd like to open a public hearing at this time for Z240007. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak in favor of or in opposition to this? Yes, sir. Come please state your name and your address, please.
Good morning. My name is Russell Ware. I'm with the Capstone Engineering Group, the applicant for this request. The address is 2205 4th Street, Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Just as was stated, we've gone back and looked at our development and with the canopies and what have you, with the gas pumps and things, it'd be hard for the larger vehicles to maneuver throughout this lot. And talking with our client, we'd like to request to have both access points in, and of course we'd work with engineering department with Jefferson County to all requirements.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak in favor of or in opposition to this, please? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed.
Move the item.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Tyson. Did I hear a second? A second from Commissioner Boland. All in favor say aye. Aye. Is there any opposition? Passed unanimously. Thank you very much. Next on the agenda is Z240012, William C. Stevens and Jenny M. Stevens, no relation. They want to change from an I-3 industrial to an A1 for residential use of a mobile home in Quinton, Alabama.
Yes, sir. This is just a simple zoning. The zoning map that we have available will kind of demonstrate the story. Everything around it is pretty much either zoned A1 in the county or is zoned by the city of West Jefferson. Again, this is just a simple downzoning from something that's very intensive, which is your high industrial, to A1, just to accommodate a residence. Again, the Planning and Zoning Commission did recommend approval with the condition that a floodplain development permit will have to be approved prior to issuing permits, which is something that is required anyway.
Sure. Thank you, Mike. I'd like to open the public hearing on Z240012. Would anyone in the audience care to speak to this? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Item's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, the item is approved. Next is Z240013, which is Bethel Baptist Church. Rick Hollis, the agent, requires the removal of a split zoning from institutional. And there are lots in there. I'm going to let Michael do it very, very, very quickly.
Yes, sir. This particular, it's a large piece of property. They're looking to subdivide it. And in conjunction with the subdivision, they want to align the zoning with the church property, which will be zoned institutional 1, and the property to the north, which would be zoned A1. The subdivision plat was approved by the Planning and Zoning Commission at their last hearing.
Like to open a public hearing at this time, Z240013. Anyone in the audience care to speak to this issue? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Next is another zoning issue, Z240014. J.E. and Jesse May Walden, and Keith Walden, the agent, requires a change in zoning from I3 to A1.
Yes, so this is a compliance issue. Back in the 1950s, as this area was originally zoned, residences were allowed in I3 zoning. Currently, they are not. The applicant has applied for permits. We caught that this zoning infraction was there and just asked them to come into a compliance, and that's what this case is essentially about.
Okay, thank you very much. I'd like to open a public hearing for Z240014. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to address this issue? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed.
Right.
Commissioner Tyson has moved the item, and Commissioner Boland seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing no opposition, the resolution passed. Commissioners, you have 45 resolutions that we properly vetted on Tuesday of this week. Is there any item that a commissioner would like to pull for separate consideration and or vote?
Mr. President, I would like to pull item 45 and be reintroduced at a meeting in the future, probably the next.
Pull 45 for future consideration.
Which one of them is 45?
Yeah, which one is that, Commissioner Miller?
Which one is that?
45.
We haven't processed and had that able.
We agreed to do it. We just don't have all the paperwork through the system yet.
Okay. Probably the next.
Okay. So when we'll get that pulled, and is there any other?
Item 10 and item 19, I've got separate discussions.
All right.
I have, Mr. President, okay. All right. As long as we got it covered. Okay.
Okay. So Chair will entertain a resolution to pull item 45 for future consideration. When the paperwork gets done, that's a legal issue. And 10 and 19 for separate consideration.
I'll move for the adoption of items 1 through 44 with the exception of 10 and 19.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Item 10, Commissioner Knight.
I just want to, I think it's just a semantics, adding language in this resolution that we discussed the other day in committee, where commissioners or their staff will not be part of the interviewing from the radio station that's broadcasting that we're providing funds to for reports on Jefferson County Commission.
Clarification of the resolution to include those items that we included in our Tuesday meeting.
It's supposed to have been added.
The amendment to that?
It was added.
No, that's what we adopted on Tuesday, but the resolution still reads.
Resolution did not include
the
that.
resolution doesn't reflect the change.
It is.
Has been.
Resolution has been changed.
No, I'm looking at the resolution as since we were accused of backup. Well, the backup doesn't say that. The backup clearly states, and I will read for public consumption. It says spotlighting county services and events for the benefit of Jefferson County citizens. It said nothing about the restriction in terms of who is allowed to speak on behalf of county services and events.
You've amended it, that.
You're saying you amended this document? Okay.
Okay.
You understand the
Okay, so
intent of the commission now.
as long as we are approving what you said that you all are working on, because I'm not interested in, I'm not being ugly, not necessarily interested in what you all are working on as much as what I'm able to look here as a commissioner on this document on this dais. So I just wanted to make sure that we clearly understood.
Yeah, I think
appreciate
it. I do, thank you for clarifying that, because I
Move.
knew we had talked about it.
You want to move 10?
Yeah, I'll move item 10.
All right, item 10's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. 19.
All right, item 19, we have three items for contingency funds. I would like to break them down. I do still have some questions on one of the items, and the other two I'm fine with. And I have questions on this museum. We had a discussion about it the other day, and the only backup I have is a request for Birmingham Barons Museum project proposal. Is that still the?
I believe it's a Southern League.
It's the
the Southern League Museum.
I understand that. And that's what I said the other day, that the Negro Southern League Museum is in existence.
They don't say Negro Southern League. It's Southern League Museum.
Well, look at their website and see what it says. That museum over there by Rickwood Field,
that's not.
by Railroad Park.
No. That's where the funding is going to the city. The project is the Southern League uniforms and the memorabilia.
Well, I'm having trouble with because now the project team is, where is the money going to go? Let me just ask that.
It's going, you can come, he's from the, it's going to the.
Oh, good.
State your name and where you live.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Thank you. Kenneth Cunningham, the Deputy Director of the Negro Southern League Museum. Got any questions?
He ought to be able to answer your questions, yeah.
What was that now?
So where is your museum?
Downtown, across the street. Excuse me, downtown across from the from Railroad Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's that called?
The Negro Southern League Museum.
That's what we're talking about.
No.
Well, that's what his museum is
That's
down
what
there across from Railroad Park, right?
What we are funding is the Southern League memorabilia that will be hung throughout Jefferson County on a lifetime display. That's what we are funding.
Throughout Jefferson County. Where?
It's going to start at Regents Park, Rickwood Field, Jefferson County.
We're not getting in the museum business.
It's not a museum. It's just like those paintings hanging on the wall. It's the same thing.
Well, we have some space out here.
I know, but we can put it out there.
That we can do something like that.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
But is this a rotating thing?
No, it's going to stay there. The whole case is a lifetime cases that will not be moved. It's the uniforms in it will be changed out throughout the years.
No, I can speak to it if you needed me
Would
to.
you please?
Okay, thank you.
Totally confused, sir.
Okay, so the proposed exhibit will be a walk-around exhibit at Regents Field. I mean, at the Barons Field. So when visitors, attend a game, we're going to have displays set up in different areas along the concourse. As far as the funding was an issue. So we've figured out the funding. The funding for the project will be directed into the city's PACE account. So it's going to go towards the PACE board. So with that, the funds will not be commingled with the city's general funds, and those funds will only be used for this exhibit. Regents have, Jonathan Nelson has already approved the exhibit, and as far as the upkeep of the exhibits themselves, It's going to follow a similar cycle to the museum itself. So once a year, the Center for Negro League Baseball Research, which Dr. Revelle founded, he comes to the museum and he changes out our exhibits. It's going to be the exact same process at Regents Field. The only difference with the walk-around exhibit at Regents Field is that this particular exhibit will spotlight all Barons players, not just African American players. That's what's unique about this particular exhibit.
So
it's gonna spotlight all the Barons, both Barons. I mean,
white and black.
There's a rich history here. You know, they all started with the industrial teams, and then they morphed into the Stars, and then the Barons, and now the black.
It's gonna be all of them.
Yeah, the history.
Is that all inclusive? Is what I'm asking.
So we're going to focus on. The conversations right now are for us to focus on the Barons, and as we all know, the Barons' history dates back to 1885 with the Birmingham Coal Barons.
Right.
So we have a long, rich history, but.
The Negro Southern League was 1920, right?
20 through 64. You are correct. Yep. After the passing of the Civil Rights Act, the black and the white Barons merged into one team. Right. Yep.
So let me, for understanding purposes only, because when you said the pace board, I sat on the council that established the pace board, right? So if I'm hearing this correctly, and I want you to correct me if I'm wrong, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this basically a city of Birmingham ask of the county to help partner with the exhibition of this Barons program by way of contributing to the pace board? Therefore, it will enable the funding to be in place for this exhibit, which we now is associated with the Negro Southern League Museum. Is that what we're really doing this morning?
Absolutely not, ma'am.
Okay, well, tell me what we're doing, because let me tell you why it sounds confusing, being that I have a history there at the city, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So obviously, I'm in support of the Negro Southern, the Negro League Museum. Let me just say that, because all these other names, okay. But my point is, the confusion comes when you don't have proper backup information that's going to let us know exactly what we're doing and why we're doing it. Okay? So if we're giving monies to this exhibit, first of all, let's establish, is it an exhibit that we are supposedly considering today?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is not brick and mortar. This is an exhibit.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
This exhibit, is it in partnership with the city of Birmingham by way of giving funds to the PACE board, which is a board that, matter of fact, are they even still active?
Yes, ma'am. The PACE board, they are active.
Okay.
And the only reason we, I mentioned the PACE board is that the museum was founded in 2015. The commission, you all have certain requirements for organizations or institutions that may want to apply for funds, i.e. grants. Our foundation board does not meet those requirements. So the museum's foundation board, we only have 2 board members right now. We're working on our bylaws and working to add more board members so that we can become in.
Wait a minute, hold on. So let me stop you right there. So the PACE board only has 2?
No. The museum's foundation.
The foundation, okay.
Yes, ma'am. The nonprofit set up in support of the museum. So we can't apply for this grant through the commission because we won't meet the requirements. We don't have 5 board members. And in addition to that, there are a couple of other administrative issues which we need to handle. So what we've decided to do after working with the city's attorney is, try to find a safe space for those funds so that those funds could be used for their intended purpose without those funds being commingled with city funds. And the best place for those funds are the PACE board, because the PACE board was originally set up for the construction of Regents Field, and with that, the museum. So what we've been doing over the years, any remaining funds from that trust account that was used in the construction of Regents Field has been used to fund certain operational expenses that's associated with the museum. That trust account is still open. The city they don't touch those funds. Those funds held within that PACE account are only for the museum. So we're considering it like a donation. Let's say if we received a donation at the museum, what we would do, we would put those funds, excuse me, in our PACE account. And from there, the museum has discretion over how those funds are used, not the city.
But hold on. Let me ask you this question.
Yes, ma'am.
The PACE board was always established with one side of the hall having more members on that board. I remember this board, if nothing else, because I thought it was ludicrous that as a council member, we gave our votes away to the mayor's office, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's why I asked you if this board was even still active. Gotcha. Now, obviously, the board itself, or this particular PACE committee, was established so that funding could be made available through this particular 5-member board. And I remember 3 going to the mayor and 2 to the council, right? Okay, so my point being is the museum itself is an entity of the city.
Yeah.
Am I wrong in saying that?
Yes, we're a facility of the city.
That's right. You're a facility of the city of Birmingham. And so I'm only speaking from a county position now.
Yes,
I was a council member, so I had a different perspective when I was a council member. As a county commissioner who's reading on AL.com that economic development is being hindered by the county, that's what I struggle with, not you that I'm struggling with. I'm struggling with the idea of money being asked of us, but it seems as though the parties that need to be coming to talk to this body is not talking to this body. They sent you. Okay, and to me, if this commission doesn't get it, I'm letting you know I get it. And it's putting you in an awkward position that you shouldn't be in, because there is an economic development component of the city who should be talking to our economic development component of the city and of the county, and making sure that those dollars are going to the PACE board in partnership. Because my problem is this.
Yes, ma'am.
Whenever we do a partnership, seemingly the county gets left out. And when all the lights and cameras are going, all of a sudden it's just a one-sided, and anybody on this dais, if I'm not telling the truth, you correct me. It's always been that the county, we give money, but we don't get the recognition. We get the criticism, but we don't get the recognition of all of these different supporting initiatives that we do. That's not on you, sir. I'm just speaking for the public record.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
even today, there was an economic development project that's going to be housed in Birmingham, and it was passed by this commission. And yet public perception is everything.
Absolutely.
And so that's the reason why I'm trying to make sure that I get from you that if we're talking about this museum, exactly what we're doing, we understand where the money is going to go, but it's still for a city facility. And why isn't the city having the proper or appropriate conversation with our folks over here in the county?
Yes, ma'am. Well, initially, the Center for Negro League Baseball Research, they were the applicants. They proposed the project. The issue is that the Center for Negro League Baseball Research is an out-of-state entity. Right. So the commission was supposed to direct funds to the Center for Negro League Baseball Research, given that it's located in Carrollton, Texas. So one thing which was critically important when we proposed this project was the timing of it, because our intentions, or Dr. Ravel's intentions, were to have this particular exhibit, let's say the displays erected at Regents Field prior to the game, so that the commission could get that worldwide attention. And we stress that. We understand, I can't speak for, IEO. I can't speak for the city, because we haven't had those type of conversations with the city in regards to this project. Our conversations have been internal and just trying to figure out exactly how we need to direct the funds. But one thing which is being stressed is that the commission, the county, needs to be properly recognized for their contribution. And this is from the museum and the Center for Negro League Baseball Research. Now, what the city may plan to do, that's totally different. We're not in conversations with them. The city, they became involved when we received a notification, well, a correspondence notifying us that the Center for Negro League Baseball Research could not take possession of those funds. They couldn't become a recipient. So for us, we had to get in contact with our city leadership, our lawyers, in order to speak with the county's lawyers to figure out a good place for those funds to land. And, you know, that's our communication with the city.
All right, with PACE, it sounds almost like it's a pass-through from us in order to get around the requirement that you all need to have. It would seem to me the simplest thing would be to expand your board and come back and ask directly instead of doing all this roundabout stuff. But I don't know. I mean, I'm just kind of lost in the phrase here.
Oh yeah, no worries. I mean, no, we're working on that, on trying to expand the board. I think it's easier said than done, because we deal with several other issues. You know, I started at the museum last year. In October, we faced certain issues with our nonprofit status. Now, this is just for the foundation, which was structured to support the museum, because we have the museum itself, which is a city facility, and we have a foundation, which is a board set up to support the museum. And over the years, our board has become inactive. So right now, our 501c3 status is, we're facing issues, and we're trying to get some things rectified administratively right now.
Let's go through it. We understand the intent, and the intent is to create a Barron's history that you're going to present throughout Jefferson County in certain locations, and its permanent home will be Regents Field in the concourse.
Yes, sir.
All right. It's real and it's tangible. I understand. The problem that we're having, and that's a very worthwhile. This has nothing to do with any economic development. This is quality of life and talking about the history of the Birmingham Barons throughout the years. I have no problem with that. The question we have, and I'm going to legal right now, is what they're proposing legal.
Okay. What's before you today is y'all are just expanding your contingency funds designations. So what will happen after you decide we're willing to spend $90,000 to go towards this exhibit, then I will work with, it's the City of Birmingham's attorney, because he represents the PACE board, because this museum it's kind of, the way I look at it is just like the school boards. You fund everything through the board for the individual schools.
Understand.
If you want to do this for the museum, you're going to do it through the PACE board. So we will get the appropriate documentation through them, and we will draft the agreement like we do all agreements. But what you're doing today is just, are we willing to spend?
Just allocating those funds.
Yes, and whatever if y'all say yes, then we will make sure the agreement meets all of our requirements and qualifications, and it goes to the correct legal entity, and that everything that is done stays in Jefferson County and benefits Jefferson County.
And if not, it benefits citizens of Jefferson.
That's right.
My question.
But don't we already have a Barron's Museum?
We have at the museum, we focus strictly on Black Barons. This particular exhibit will focus on the whole of the Barons, not just Black Barons. So when I think about it, I think about it as post 64. So that it'll be the post 64 Barons, some more integrated Barons. A representation of the city's progress. That's kind of how I see this project.
Wouldn't that be the function of Regions Group? I mean, that's where the Barons are playing now, and they went to Hoover for a while, and then they came back. When did this idea originate, that we just need this new museum that's going, I don't know where it's going yet, but where did all this come together? Because we got this gentleman out in Texas who I think's put this forth, Dr. Rebel, I believe is that who it is?
Revel.
Yes, Dr. Leighton Reveal.
Yeah, and he's asked for a lot of money from us, and yet I don't see where, we have this sheet that says, well, we had some in-kind services from a bunch of other people, but no money, but we're asked to fund it. I'm just, and then we got to go buy this memorabilia.
You don't have to buy it.
Well, that's what it says.
So
original artifact acquisition, $5,000. Replica uniforms, $500. I mean, what does that mean?
So, Mr. President, before you speak, if you don't mind, Mr. President, where my personal confusion comes in at is I still ask this. This is my question, not of you, sir. Mm-hmm. If we are considering this money, I hear what you're saying, Mr. President, but tourism is economic development all day long, and that's what any museum aspires to do, is to be able to publish a history so that ones who would travel near and far would be able to appreciate it. Okay, whether you're going to a museum for free or if there's some nominal fee, but still, that's what it's for. It's tourism. It's still economic development to me. I'm not speaking on behalf of the commission. But my point is, why legal did we not have this before us in this proper place so that when we're considering, we know exactly what we're considering and how we're to participate? Hold on. Second B portion of this is, what is the city putting in to this? This is the city's facility. What is the city putting toward this particular project? We know what is being asked of the county. Mm-hmm. What is the city willing to contribute for its own facility?
Well, on our end,
and when you say our end is who?
The museum.
Okay.
So we're going to manage and maintain those displays. So we're going to make sure that.
What kind of money is the city putting up for this project?
None at this moment, ma'am.
So the city is putting up $0 for an exhibition that is going to bring tourism to the city of Birmingham, and we're asked to contribute $90,000 to this same exhibit. Am I wrong in what I'm asking?
Oh, no, ma'am, you're not. I mean, outside of the labor portion, which will be, the museum actually overseeing the upkeep of of those displays over at Regents Field. Over the course of his lifetime, we haven't went directly to the city and requested any funds.
I'm going to go ahead and stop this, and we're going to need to call it to question, because right now we do not need to politicize something that I believe is a quality of life issue.
I don't know how we're politicizing. Didn't understand.
And then I think that what we need to do, irrespective of what the city of Birmingham does, I think that this is a value-added project, and it's a more inclusive project. Right now we have the Black Barons, and people don't remember Mr. Finley.
Yeah.
And what he did and what he brought to Rickwood Field and what he brought to the Major League Baseball that actually came then.
Yeah.
And you get to see Raleigh Fingers, you saw Reggie Jackson, you saw all of these people. I experienced them personally. And what I see is that you're adding that history to what you already have in place. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so yeah. I'm good with it.
Well, Mr. President, then I just want you to clarify, what does that statement means when you say politicizing it? Because I would think for us to be good stewards of what we have oversight on, that these questions that are being asked, especially for myself, I think that they have merit. I make no apology about being black. I'm not African American. Yes. I'm a descendant of Africans. Mm-hmm. I have no problem with saying I'm black and proud to be black. Yeah. So I'm not dealing with the blackness, no nothing. Mm-hmm. I'm saying that everyone has accountability that needs to be had. And if we're considering an item and we're talking about the legal aspects of it, I just wanted to know from our law department, not the city's law department. I don't care what city it is. Let me make that very clear.
Yes,
so whatever the undertone of that statement is, I frankly don't care. I live in Birmingham. And what I'm saying is, as a former city council member for the city of Birmingham, if there's going to be an ask, I think it needs to come through the front door and not a side or back door.
Yes,
just talk to us straight. And if that be the case, I just want to know, what are we getting? You can't say on this sheet of paper, you're saying one thing and then the paper says something totally different. You know, that's what I mean when I'm talking about accountability. And in addition to that, Mr. President, if we're going to move on anything, I wanted to be clear as one of the two black folks that are on this commission. I support anything that is going to tell the history of the black experience in America. But what I do want to make clear this morning, whatever we vote on, we need to be legally clear on it. And I know what the PACE board was developed for and why they were the recipient of any outside dollars. But if that be the case, then it needs, just like what was said in AL.com, it also needs to be written on AL.com and Birmingham Now and Birmingham Watch, whatever it is, that the county is participating in things that tell the true history of the county, which includes black anything. Okay?
Well, right now we're talking about white.
Well, you
Right
can
now
talk
we're
about
talking
black,
we're
white.
talking
It
about
doesn't
an
matter.
all-inclusive.
What I'm talking about is green. Okay, I'm just being honest with you. I don't care if what color that you are. I'm saying the money we're talking about is green.
Yeah,
and that money spends by all races of people, background, faiths, and religions.
Yes.
So all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, I want to know exactly what we're doing.
Yes, ma'am.
And I don't care about who gets upset. I just want to know what we're doing, why we're spending this money, and if it is a partnership with the city by way of the PACE board, which is where the money would go on the city's behalf, then say that. And then if the county is going to participate, then our Office of Public Information and their economic development for all this need to come out that the county is participating. Don't take our money and then get out here and blaspheme us. I mean, you know, come on, that's not you. That's just being honest.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, the vote has been called to question.
I have a couple more questions. We're not cloturing here. I have a couple of legitimate questions.
All right, well, listen.
Where are the exhibits going to be located? I know we've got this Regents Field.
Yes, sir.
You're saying something here, and where else?
Yeah, Brickwood Field, the concourse of Regents Field. You know, we have a wonderful relationship with the Friends of Rickwood.
Okay.
So those, you know, they're committed and they've already, you know, given us their support in installing exhibits over at Rickwood.
All right. My second question is this. You said it a while ago about maintaining. How will the maintenance work? Because we're going to give money,
yes, sir,
to these spaces that's built display cases, but if something goes awry with the display case, they're not ours, so they're not our responsibility. How will that? Who's going to handle that?
The museum's curator is actually located here in Birmingham. He goes by the name of Stuart Knox. So if you've ever visited the museum, all of our exhibits, you know, it really is. But all of our exhibits were designed by Stuart Knox. And Stuart Knox is local. And he has already given us his support. He's already on board with the project, and he understands his role as far as maintaining the exhibits, ensuring that we have those annual inspections. So we have that back-end support here, that local support. So if anything was to go wrong, we understand that we have a point person that's local that can address those issues. Also, the Jonathan Nelson has also thrown his support our way as well to ensure that the exhibits are maintained and are in good condition.
Thank you. Well, item 19 for consideration. Chair will entertain a motion. Item's been moved. I'll second it. We probably need a roll call.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes, the item has been approved. Thank you very much. We have two items of new business that we have for.
Let me.
I thought that those were broken apart, Mr. President.
Well,
as relates to the contingencies.
Yeah, we got another item.
Because, Mr. President, about Rickwood.
Yeah, and
so I thought that those items were to be separately considered. That is my understanding.
I think we just passed them all.
I think we just passed them all.
Okay, so
what you need to bring, if you want to bring it on an item of new business, we could do that, or we can look at it next time.
Okay, so are you saying, Mr. President, that the three items that were a part of this, you're saying that, because that was the motion, was for it to be considered separately?
Check the minute clerk. I think what we did was.
I think they moved it all, though.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, because that wasn't my understanding, Mr. President.
All right, items of.
Wait, no, it wasn't my understanding.
Yeah, we did.
Well, then if we did, then, Mr. President, I'd like to be able to recall the item so then I can vote accordingly. Because that wasn't my I was abstaining from the item that was just before us. I wasn't abstaining from the other two components of that item.
Well, we're leaving anyway, so let's just leave.
No, but I just, because that wouldn't have been my vote.
We have two items of new business.
Are we not taking that up then, Mr. President? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, we can, because for those who on the prevailing side, if you recall the item, I just want to be able to vote accordingly. That's all that I'm saying.
I was prevailing side. I didn't recall it. She's gone. You want to recall this? So
We don't get to recall. You're not
on. No, I know.
Yeah,
I know. But I wanted, just so that you know, Commissioner Bolden, I wanted to make sure that since it was my understanding that one item was to be considered separately, that's why I voted the way I did. But because now my understanding that they moved all at one time, I wanted to go back and then vote in the affirmative since I know that I did support the others. I just wanted to make sure that my vote was counted properly.
Okay. Cal, you have one item of new business, and I think we'll hold that other item of new business over since it was kind of controversial.
I move the consideration of item new business.
We have a motion and a second.
What is the item of new business?
This is a kind of emergency easement for Southern Natural Gas on the Environmental Services Department's property out on Powder Plant Road. They got to replace a gas line, and the old easement that they had wasn't properly written. This clears it up and gets them on their way to finishing that project. David Dennard, Chris Nicholson, county engineers reviewed it. The attorneys reviewed it. Everything's in order.
And it's an item of emergency.
I got a copy of the map and the resolution
here. Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll call the roll, especially for this. We have a motion and a second to consider this one item of new business. Did you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Bowden?
Yes.
Commissioner Knight?
Aye.
Commissioner Fields? Yes. Commissioner Tyson? Commissioner Stevens?
Yes, thank you.
I'll move the item.
All right, item's been moved for in a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item is passed.
Thank you.
Commissioners, anyone like to address the body? County manager?
Yes, sir. You'd asked me to get an update on the garbage. As of today from Amwaste, 4 weeks ago, they had 601 misses, and this is for Jefferson County only. 3 weeks ago, it got down to 529. 2 weeks ago, 455. And then this week, so far, 438.
So the number of misses is slowly getting better. We want it to get better faster, and we'll stay on it.
I think they're all calling me.
I know.
No, they're not all calling you.
We tell them.
No, they're not all called in your office.
But are they responding to the calls that we? It seemed like at least when they call us and we get in touch with them, they are responding.
I would agree. What my evidence I've seen, they are getting to the misses much quicker this week than they were the 2 weeks ago. It was a mess. So I think that's better. And we'll follow up with Commissioner Boland and Commissioner Knight next week with a further meeting.
All right, thank you. You had one or more item of new business. I apologize. It was a community grant program, $10,000 for Center Point High School.
I did.
Okay, I'd like to.
I'd move that we consider item of new business.
For one item of new business. And please
Second.
call the roll. And have a second.
Commissioner Bowden?
Yes.
Commissioner Knight?
Aye.
Commissioner Scales?
Yes.
Commissioner Tyson? Commissioner Stevens?
Yes. Resolution authorizing execution of community grant in the amount of $10,000 for Jefferson County Board of Education, Center Point High School, for general education purposes. We'll move it.
Move the item.
All right, item's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passed.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Millie. With that being said, this meeting is now.
Mr. President, I did have something to say. You went
Okay.
past that.
Please, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. First of all, I want to thank the Commission for taking up that item of new business for Center Point High School. In addition to that, I do want to say on this Saturday that I will be from my college that I attended, which was Stillman College, will be receiving Doctorate of Humane Letters, which I am very grateful, very humbled by it. That will take place on this Saturday, which will be at 9 a.m. and on the campus of Stillman College at Tiger Stadium. In addition to that, I want to say that we have had some really good projects that we've been doing in terms of the schools in our area. And I cannot say to the faculty, staff, parents who've been on board and making sure that our children are getting the best exposure possible. With that having said, I do want to say congratulations to all teachers. This is Teachers Appreciation Week, and how much they really are appreciated. And our school systems throughout the country are being challenged, period. And we have a lot of teachers and principals and faculty members that go beyond the call of duty every day. So I just wanted to say congratulations to those teachers, all the hard work that they're doing, and just know that as the commissioner, for one, how much we really appreciate what you all are doing to make our children's lives a lot better, and helping to shape and mold them to become productive members of society. So I just wanted to say that to all of our teachers and to our staff. You all have been given notification there is an event that is here in Birmingham, and you all have gotten, you should have gotten it already, if my memory serves me correctly, from Helen, Office of Public Information, and hopefully you all are taking advantage of the opportunity on this upcoming Saturday where you can be able to go at a discounted rate. So we appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
I just have a quick
you're
moment. It's been a little bit controversial in the legislature this session, but yesterday they did pass a bill that will create the Alabama Agricultural Exhibition Center Corporation, so that we will now be able to proceed with our farm center at Hallmark Farms, and that is something that we've been working on for quite a while. And, it's going to now come to fruition, and that will be an opportunity to have more development in North Jefferson County, but it'll also provide a home for our farmers to call home for their shows, their exhibitions, their competitives, competing, issues. So it's a great time for Jefferson County. It's going to be a new look, and it's the Hallmark Farms, and we're looking forward to getting on our end things taken care of to move that forward and get this thing done as soon as the governor puts her John Henry on the law. Thank you.
I'd like to piggyback on what Commissioner Knight said. Is that, with the Hallmark Farm project, it's working. It's going to be an economic engine and benefit, and it's going to be a quality of life issue for people up in that district. And I believe that we have an engagement that we need to get forward as far as putting some infrastructure plans in place. Cal, can you address those a little bit more and see what we need?
Well, the co-op, Hallmark Co-op District is entering into an agreement for a design and architect right now.
Oh, good.
To get them here next week to start, like, look, let's lay it out where it's going to go, what we're going to do. And so our county folks have been right in there lockstep with us, and so that's in the works. We were just waiting on that final passage of that, so now we are going to be full speed ahead.
That's great. Great news.
Nothing.
Meeting's recessed for the minute.